This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so welcome to the NCGLA Scholarship Grants and Financial Aid meeting tonight. We have a couple organizations that are going to talk about the programs that they have for lacrosse programs here in Northern California and potentially in Southern California, maybe. And each organization will have some time to discuss what they have, and we'll have some Q&A after each one so that attendees can ask questions relevant to their program. My name is Laura Jennings. I am one of the NCGLA staff members. I'm the executive director. And I also have our girls director on the line. Erin is here, and I believe Ian from the NorCal chapter is here.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, and we also have MJ Davey, who will be here to talk about the NorCal Lacrosse Foundation. And then, of course, our lovely Lynn Porterfield from US Lacrosse will be here to, or actually, she is here to talk about the programs that US Lacrosse will have for us. On the screen, you can see some of the contact information. We will post this slide deck as well on our website, so you can grab those emails. NorCal chapter. So Ian is the chapter equipment loaner program manager, is his official title. Ian, I'm going to turn it over to you now, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect. Appreciate that. Yes. So as you may or may not be aware, US Lacrosse NorCal, we have a stick loaner program, and that's what I run. And so the program, as you see on the screen, we've got a number of boys and girls sticks, including almost 30 girls goggles as well. And we also have soft sticks. So these are great for little kids just learning how to, hold on to a stick and pass and catch there. So we've got a number of different options, and these can be, they're really used a lot for just learning programs, getting introduced to the game of lacrosse itself. And so we turn these sticks over quite a few times throughout the year. And you can borrow them for whatever programs that you have coming up to introduce boys and girls to the great game of lacrosse here. We at the NorCal chapter will ship the sticks out to wherever you are. And all that we ask is that you get some good use out of them and pay to return them back to me. And as you see on the screen, you can contact me directly at my email address that you see there, as well as that's my cell phone that you see. Yes, it is a Connecticut area code, but I am here in San Francisco. But are there any questions that anybody has about the program that we have here to help get sticks into kids' hands?
I have a question, Ian. What type of sticks do you have for boys and girls? The 130 and the 84, are those like name brand or recent models of sticks?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So we are, constantly looking at the inventory of sticks that we get, and we are regularly replenishing it. So most of the sticks are only, some are brand new, and others are just really a few seasons old. And so they're all name brand. We've got SDX, Warrior, Brian are all in the mix there. So yes, definitely name brand sticks and things, sticks that get broken get pulled out. So they are 100% usable and in good condition.
I was really impressed the one time that I got to use the kit that they were, like brand new sticks, and the kids were really excited about the colors and the condition. And I just remember, years ago when you would get, the really old, stick, and it's, you can see it's had some love. So I was really
Yep. Yeah, we work to try to, make sure that they are absolutely usable and that the kids can have a good first experience with the game of lacrosse.
Hey, Laura, can I dovetail a question off of your question?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Certainly. Ian, quick question. The 28 pairs of the 28 goggles for girls, I'm presuming that those are up to date with recent code and all that good stuff, right? Because goggles kind of.
Those are 18 months old.
Awesome.
Yep.
I think that's.
Yeah.
So your question, Kyle, they are SCI certified.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was
they
pulling
should
that
be.
in my database. Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Yeah, I can't tell you the code, but I know they're 18 months old and they were the brand new thing 18 months ago.
Excellent. Thanks, Ian.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Derek. So when you ship them, they ship them in like in a duffel bag, and you just ship them. We just tell you the address you want them shipped to, and then.
Yeah, no. So they're we ship them in duffel bags, and what we've found is we can either arrange to meet and drop them off somewhere, or what you might not be aware, I wasn't before I started doing this program, but Greyhound Bus actually offers shipping. And so it tends to be the most cost effective and easy way of shipping things bulk throughout Northern California. So tend to just put them on in a bus, and they'll drop those off, and you can pick them up within 3 days of any Greyhound bus station that's close to you. So that's typically how we do it, but if there isn't a station near you, we can always talk about other logistics and ways to get them to you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ian. I guess if anybody has any questions, Ian's email is there, or you can visit the NorCal chapter of US Lacrosse website, and they have a contacts page with their board members.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Our next best kept secret of NorCal lacrosse is the NorCal Lacrosse Foundation. And MJ has volunteered to give us a brief overview. MJ, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. So here you go. Turn it over to you.
Yeah. So I serve on the board of the NorCal Lacrosse Foundation, and basically this is a foundation that was formed to manage the monies that were donated. Was called the Faulkner Fund, and a guy named Pete Faulkner, who was instrumental in starting lacrosse back in 1965, wanted to put some money away towards helping increase the scope of participation and the quality of players, coaches, and officials in Northern California. So our foundation's mission is basically to get the word out to people that this is available funding, and let you know the process to apply for it, and then also to try to do some fundraising to raise more money for the foundation. So our Faulkner Fund is about $185,000, and between 2010 and 2019, we've given out about $19,000 in loans to starting up clubs, to high school teams, to school, whatever kind of lacrosse program in the area that is looking to get started or has a special project. It's definitely something worth putting an application together for and requesting the money. We've also done grants, which do not need to be paid back. The loans do need to be paid back, no interest loans, and then the grants are not to be paid back. And same thing for teams, clubs, and schools. And then we do scholarships as well for players. So it could be players to go to a summer program, to do a fall ball program. We don't get too many requests for the spring season. I think most of the clubs, well, for NCJLA anyway, a lot of that is handled with NCJLA and the clubs, but we are available for college players, for playing club lacrosse, all types of things in the Bay Area. So there's individual versus program. So there's scholarships that go to the player, the coaches, the umpire, referees, or administrators, and then program fund application is separate, and that's for either new clubs and teams starting up or programs as well. And we're changing out the application, so it's going to be a little easier to fill out. But right now, you just go to our website, which I think is on the next screen. Maybe not. Basically, again, financial assistance to participate in lacrosse program. Scholarships do not need to be repaid. grants do not need to be repaid, just the loans. Spring season applications must be received by October 31st. So that's a key deadline right now for any programs looking to get any funding. We need to get applications in the next 30 days or so. The application is pretty simple, and that also requires a brief letter of recommendation from a coach, association, community leader, athletic director, or league or conference president.
So MJ, this scholarship is really for the individual to do, right?
Scholarships, yes, or for the individual, families. So families that are, would love for their kid to do a spring program, fall program, summer program, come directly from the families, yes. So it's great for clubs to push this information out to your families in your, once, twice a year, in a newsletter format, probably, to let families know that these funds are available to them.
Okay.
Here's more about the application. Applications need to be received by October 31st. They go to our website to fill out the application, which I think is on the next screen.
This is for a actual club or school, right? The program fund application, is that?
Yes, right. So there's you either do the individual scholarship or the program, and this one's the information for the program.
MJ, go ahead. I was saying, I've got a question. Lynn.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, MJ, so on the individual scholarships, that would cover like the cost of the program fee, or if you were an official, maybe the dues, cost of training. What are the types of things that you guys typically fund with that scholarship?
We haven't seen much come from officials as far as I know, but typically we'll get, a child that wants to go to participate in a summer program or fall program and just doesn't have the, the means to do so. So we mostly see that. And then we also see starting up clubs or high school. We just recently made a grant to a high school club that was starting up.
Concord High School Girls.
Exactly. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Again, so here's the contact information. It's the norcallacrosse.org. We have a president, a treasurer, board. They're all listed here, board members. And yeah, we just really want to increase the awareness out in the lacrosse world, in the community. I'm doing some work with Jordan where we want to try, we just finally got an Instagram page going, but we want to try to do some more work in social media to make sure that individuals in the Bay Area know that this fund is there for their use, and also for any organizations that want to make donations to the foundation as well.
Anybody have any questions for MJ?
Again, this is Derek. So if we were to try to get this for like how the Concord School Girls was trying to start up, if we wanted to get this for a couple of our high schools, I know that schools in Alameda are trying to start up, we could come to fill this out or help them. Would I fill it out or would I just let the school district or the actual school fill it out? And would that help pay for like goals or?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So does it come from the school, or could I do it on behalf of the school if they don't want to do it?
I mean, it's probably best if it comes from them, but you could certainly write a letter of recommendation with it, or you could do it together with them. I don't think it matters too much, as long as we understand what it's for and how much they're looking for, that type of information.
Okay.
Yeah. So schools are eligible to apply for a NorCal Lacrosse Foundation grant.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't get a lot of requests, so we definitely want to get the word out that we're here. Sometimes it's the same couple clubs that we're donating to each year, but we'd love to get it more widespread, make sure people know that we're available.
MJ, can these the program grants, can those be used for like renting fields, like those costs?
I don't see why not. I don't know that we have any restrictions. Yeah, I know that, oftentimes it's equipment or, overhead fees. So I haven't seen where that would be a problem to, specifically need it for fields.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That would really be helpful.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, MJ.
Hey, you guys, Lori Boone had a question in the chat. She said
sure.
if we receive this benefit for our first year, are we also eligible to receive it for the second year?
You just need to reapply, I think. And we'd have to see where we are in funding, but yeah, I would say submit it.
There you go.
All right.
Sorry, I've been doing this all day, monitoring the chat, so.
Yeah, well, thanks, Lynn.
I'll keep going.
All right, so now on to the NCJLA's programs. We typically had, just one type of scholarship, and through our discussions with the clubs, we've learned that, we need to diversify how we give out the money because not all clubs have the same programs going. So now we have team scholarships, which are based on need, and there's a standard amount, and then player scholarships, which support a club's actual financial aid that they give out. And new for this year is our special program grants, and this is a really flexible pool of money that we've put together to help clubs just meet the need. So the player scholarships. Couple criteria. First, the clubs have to have their own current working established financial aid policy that's publicly available. We've seen some very simple policies and then very complex ones. We have examples and would love to connect any club that is thinking of starting one of these with a club that has an established policy for them to look over. Each year, the board approves a budget for this, and you'll see that exact amount this upcoming Saturday during the delegates meeting. And then one of the criteria for this scholarship is that the NCJLA is only going to reimburse up to 50% of what the club actually gives the players. So, for example, if you're giving out $300, the max that you would be eligible from the NCJLA would be $150. And then lastly, we have a 10% cap on what each club can get from the fund, and that's to make sure that we're giving part of this money back to all the clubs throughout the region. That just makes sure that we're making sure that any club is eligible. Some of the criteria. So because this is becoming a popular scholarship for clubs to apply for, we we have identified the 5 criteria for this. The awards are based on need. We don't really want to give, like abilities or athletic experience scholarships. That would be for an older age group. The application and submission process has to be public, has to be something that the NCJLA staff can go and find, once we see your request. We also want to make sure that applicants don't have to be a member in order to apply. We've realized through a lot of the diversity and inclusion training lately that when we do that, it becomes a barrier for those, it makes it difficult to apply for stuff if there's a lot of hoops and paperwork to do. So we want to make sure that it's easy for them to apply for your scholarship. The other piece of this, they must apply. This can't be automatically given. We want to make sure that the club is looking at needs. The team scholarship, which we'll get into later, would actually be the appropriate scholarship if a club wanted to give a scholarship to everybody. The last criteria is that the club must advertise that an applicant can request assistance with completing the application. Again, one of the things that we've learned through a lot of the diversity and inclusion training is that helping people who are most in need is really the best way to be inclusive. One of the pro tips that we found is that if you offer a Google Translate option with your application, that could help some parents who are English second language. So, any questions about this part?
So Lori, we just direct the players to the website?
They would have to apply for your club's scholarship, and then
Yeah.
you would send that basically, invoice or tally of how much you gave out to the NCGLA.
Okay, so it's like the usual way then. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Got it.
The team scholarship. So this one is, we really did a lot of discussions over the summer and really talking to clubs about what they needed. And, we found that clubs were really scholarshiping entire teams because of the makeup of the teams and what the goals, they were trying to reach non-traditional areas. So this scholarship is designed to meet the needs of groups. How do you qualify? They have to be registered and meet their scheduling requirements and submit your application on time. Very easy. And then how are our funds distributed? The board will look at the applications for the teams and review their needs. And then the award amount is discussed at the board level of what each one would be approved for. In the past 3 years that we've had this scholarship, it's been a standard fee that they've been granted. Some of the examples of teams in the past that have qualified for this, we had teams from Santa Rosa and the Napa Rancho Cotati area that were affected by wildfires. We've had some urban teams that, a lot of their families were facing unemployment. And then we've had some Title I schools that have applied. So the award process, basically we are moving our award process for the player and team scholarships to November 30th. This is so that clubs get the money ahead of time. In the past, we did this process in January, and we've realized that some clubs just don't have the working capital to be able to float these scholarships and pay team registration. So we've moved it to November 30th so that we can help them with that. The other key point here is that now the club presidents can elect to receive their award amounts in 3 different formats. Before, we used to just give them an officials fee credit. Now we can actually send them a check after team registration closes. We can give them a credit towards team registration, or we can do the credit towards officials fees invoice. We heard loud and clear that clubs have different needs, and so we varied this to help meet that.
Laura,
Oh, sure.
There's a question from Laura. Can we define what the operations fee is?
Oh, so you'll learn more about this on Saturday, but we've divided the team registration into 3 different fees for this upcoming spring. And the operations fee is for regular season games, but you'll learn more about that on Saturday. Does that answer the question?
She says yes.
Okay. All right, so the new scholarship that we have. So with COVID and some of the other challenges with the, high school sports being overlapped this spring, we really want to help our clubs with getting teams back out on the field. And that could mean any number of things. So we created a portion of our scholarship and grants to be this special program. This can be anything, player equipment, those new goalie chest protectors are coming out. Maybe your club needs to buy some of those. Maybe you want to send your coaches to a, Rise to Win or Positive Coaching Alliance clinic. Or maybe you need, some COVID game day supplies. You want to get some extra hand sanitizer pumps or, or maybe some N95 masks, who knows? But we wanted to be flexible, and so this is our new scholarship program. Any questions about this one? All right. Lastly, we put on events every year, and those events need staff, parking people, setting up goals, helping with gate entry and closing, just being positive examples there, working the information tent. And we would rather help our clubs raise money than paying outside organizations to work our events. So we have the fundraising agreement. And if your club is interested in working these events as a fundraiser, all you need to do is email me before January 30th. And if your club can staff part of an event, that's great. You don't need to fill all of the slots that we have. We typically have 10 people working at any given hour at Treasure Island. So there's plenty of opportunity to fill in. We do ask that if you have a volunteer come to work an event, they're there for at least 4 hours. And we do ask that they be 16 years or older. So this is a great way to make money for your club. And if you're already at the event, play your games in the morning, work the event in the afternoon. It's a pretty good deal. Any questions about this one?
Hey, Laura, there's a throwback question. Hey, Laura, there's a throwback question. There's a throwback question to the previous slide.
Oh, sure.
Like, what's the due date for special grants?
These are November 30th as well.
Cool. And then a question going forward on the next slide. How does a club make money working those particular fundraising events?
So you see these lovely people here holding this goal. You help me and Aaron and Chris set up the fields, and basically we pay you an hourly wage for each person that is there working with us. And then that money gets sent via check to the club, one check. Typically in the Bay Area, we have, for an example, like the Giants game, if your club goes there and works security, or, back in the day, there used to be the Applebee's where you did the flapjack fundraiser and you made pancakes in the morning at Applebee's. It's kind of one of those situations.
So the people volunteer their time, but the money goes to the club.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Awesome.
Right now, the biggest organization to take advantage of this is Sacramento Lacrosse. And then we had Petaluma Lacrosse did a play day for us. And I typically have the Travis Air Force Base squadrons want to work this event, but NCGLA clubs get priority. All right. Scholarships, the divvying up of each type, there's 40% for team, 40% for players, and then the special program that is 20%. If your families are wanting to know how, or even your club wants to know how these are funded, it's funded by event revenue. So when they buy those smoothies or t-shirts, it goes back into this program. And then, of course, we do seek scholarship fund donations. We've had Fit Aid and Pro Athletics, the Bays Foundation, and of course, US Lacrosse have all donated to our scholarship fund. And if you do know an organization that is looking for a large organization to donate to, the NCGLA has been a nonprofit for youth sports since 1986. And if they're interested, we'd love to advertise for them and have them donate. Here's your timeline of when things will be sent out. Just to recap, November, we start accepting applications for scholarships. And then by November 30th, we close that. The board will then review and vote in December, and you'll get a notification of how much you've been given. And then January, you should receive your check. If you're doing a fundraising agreement, that'll be due January 30th. And then by February, we have your signed fundraising agreement sent. So we really try to make sure you know your financial situation before games start. Oh, any questions about NCJLA scholarships or financial aid? All right. With that, I will turn it over to Lynn so she can talk to you, or actually show you, some of the US Lacrosse grants.
Hello. You can keep going. One more. I didn't need that slide, did I? Okay. Hello,
okay.
everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join up. I tend to say this when I'm at NCJLA meetings because I go to a lot of league meetings kind of sometimes all across the country. I'm always amazingly impressed with the resources that this league offers you guys. You're very, very fortunate, and this is a great idea. Laura reached out to me, it was a while ago, right? When you were trying to set the date for this, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
September 24th, that sounds great. I'll have all kinds of information on grants. Well, lo and behold, best laid plans. Our grant, our main grant cycle opened and already closed, as some of you on the call know, because I know some of you have applied there. But I wanted to kind of go through what we do and give you a little bit of background on that too, just also for future, so that you can beware and be ready and all of that good stuff. COVID, as we know, understatement of the evening, has dramatically changed what we've been doing as of late. I know it certainly happened for you guys last year, and as it goes with all of you, it goes with us. So it's been an interesting year from a budgetary perspective, and we're actually still trying to get a handle on that going forward, so that we can determine what we have to grant out. So because of that, our grant cycle got pushed out rather quickly, and it was really only open for not quite a month, probably about 3 weeks. What comes in and then is ultimately awarded during that grant cycle will inform what we're able to do the rest of the year. If you've been around for a few years in the NCJLA and are familiar with our grant cycles, we've done it a little bit differently each year, I feel like, for the past couple of years. And last year we had 3 different cycles. So for right now, we've got the cycle that we just went through, but I'm anticipating we're going to have some other opportunities coming up. So we do a number of different types of grants, and we do, as it says up here, we do education grants, which are coaches development program clinics primarily. In past years, Laura and staff have done a wonderful job of kind of coordinating locations, and we've sent trainers out to do those level 1 and 2 clinics. I think we did we get a level 3 off last year, Laura? I feel like we did. Yeah, you did. That's right.
What was that? Green Valley Middle School.
Oh, great. Okay, that's right. It did happen. So this year, we, at this point in time, we are moving to virtual, and we're calling them workshops, not clinics, but we're going to be doing things online for the foreseeable future, which is awesome, because I'm super excited about it, because it's going to open this up to a lot of your coaches who just have a hard time carving out the time to travel to a spot and, take up their half day on a Saturday or whatever it is. So the level 1 and 2 clinics will be completely online, actually the level 3 as well, but the level 1 and 2, they will be 2-hour clinics. They're going to start in November. You're probably like, why are you talking about this during the grants phase? The reason I bring this all up is because there is a cost to the clinics. We do still have to pay trainers. They're going to be live virtual clinics. So what we will be doing once again is we will be subsidizing part of that for you guys, being an NCJLA member club. So that's coming. we're trying to get Laura and staff as much information on those as quickly as we can, but we're still working through some things on our end in terms of the registration and the delivery. So that's coming up. Player development, that's really talking about those Trilax clinics that some of you were able to do in the past. Equipment grants are, of course, just that, those first stick equipment grants, and then what we call the PE soft stick grants. They're those plastic headed STX sticks that go with a PE curriculum that a lot of you have used as outreach in your local schools. And then we do financial grants. We do a national diversity and inclusion grant, which is a lump sum of money that programs can use for kind of whatever they want, transportation, field rentals, whatever. But we also do member organization grants, and this is a big part of kind of well, it's a full package of support that we provide to the NCJLA that ends up, kind of going out to benefit you all. So I think last year we did a lot of different things in that, but it was a nice nugget for an awesome group. And we were happy to do that, and we'll be doing that again this year. So those grants that I just talked about that are accessed at that link that's on the screen, they are all part, for the most part, of that cycle that just closed. So what I would say is, if you're a program that's interested in one of those types of grants, reach out, and you did not just apply in the cycle that just closed. Reach out to me, and we can chat through what your needs are. NCJLA, as you just discovered, provides a really wide range of assistance to you all. But if you've got kind of a special need, go ahead and reach out. And I think that between Laura and staff and us, hopefully we can find a way to fund whatever it is that you need to take care of. It's going to be an interesting year in 2021, like I said, for all of us, but I think we're all ready to hunker down and kind of do whatever we can to make it happen. On top of what we do in that kind of overall grant area, the one thing which I like to call our best hidden secret is the hardship membership availability. And what those are is it's for any of your kiddos who qualify for free and reduced lunch, is usually the bar that we ask you guys to use. They can go ahead and get a membership at a $10 level. It's full benefits. It's the secondary insurance and all of the good stuff that the kiddos who pay the $30 membership at the youth level get, but it's $10. These are processed through your program, not through NCJLA, but as your town program. So best thing to do with those is just to reach out to me. It sounds like with NCJLA's scheduling, you guys will probably have a really good idea of who those kiddos are that need, and those families that need assistance. So when you're doing your scholarshiping for them, remember that you can also count on doing a $10 USL membership for them. Those are processed through you guys, like I said, through the programs. They're not done individually, so that's the only hitch with those. We usually do them kind of as a group batch, but just reach out to me, and I'd be happy to talk you through that. I mean, if you have one kiddo in your club that needs that, that's fine. We'll do it. You don't have to have a group of them, but if you have more than one, we usually try and process those as one group. So that's hardship memberships. Don't forget, we do have discounts through our partners that you get as a benefit of being a US Lacrosse member. I know Laura has worked with Pearl Balls in the past. They actually give some pretty decent discounts that definitely gets their, but yeah, I mean, don't you think that gets their ball price down to what you would be able to get online with cheaper balls, and they're really good. It's a really good product.
They even can put your logo on it.
That's right. I have pictures of a beautiful NCGLA logo on balls from oh, that was from earlier this year. That wasn't that long ago. Oh, the last time I watched kids play lacrosse in March. So yeah, they are awesome. Pearl is. It's Guardian is the name of the company, and they will. I think Laura's got the contact for the guy. He came to your delegates meeting last year, I believe. Yeah. He's out of Atlanta, or I can help connect you with him. And especially if you're going to buy in bulk, it's really a good way to go. Impact Canopy, if you guys, once we're back out on the fields, if you guys need canopies, they give a really nice discount. Sisu mouth guards, Huddle Film. Gilman Gear is a new partner, and they do goals. They give a pretty, I think they do like it's like a 15% discount. And I feel like if you connect directly with the guy, and if you're buying, any kind of a number, they'll cut you a little bit better of a deal. So they've been really great. And then Swag Slacks, if anybody uses those for any of your training, they'll also, I have to say their balls are a little pricey, but they'll cut you a break too. So so don't forget about that. Take advantage of those if you're in the market as a program for equipment types of things.
Lynn, we like reference US Lacrosse, or is it like a code, or how do you?
Yeah, you can connect with me if you're a program, because sometimes they do have a code, but what I really prefer to do is connect you directly with the rep, so that you can, so that you call them and say, hey, Lynn from Pacific Northwest, gave me your contact name. What can you do for us? Because I've heard specifically from some programs that have bought goals from Gilman that they've been super flexible and really wonderful. And like I don't know, one guy I can't remember the size of the goal, but it was kind of a closeout on a model, and they got like 30% off or something. So I think it always behooves you to call them directly. So we can hook you up. So next slide. Okay, so actually it wasn't me, it was one of my colleagues, started working on kind of a fundraising connections page for folks. And so I took what they did, because this particular colleague was from Baltimore, and a lot of the organizations they had on there have nothing to do with the West Coast. So I did go through and vet it for you guys, but Laura has a one-pager that I'm sure she'll make available to everybody that's got more information and just a wide variety of things on here. You guys are probably already doing a lot of these, but I think especially if you're a newer program, it doesn't hurt to just kind of take a peek through the list and kind of familiarize yourself with the easy things there are to set up, like the Amazon Smile account kind of deals that they can bring in a little bit of money, and a little something is better than nothing, and it doesn't take long to set it up. So I think it's always good to consider those. Good Sports is an organization. The reason that's on my little fave list here is Good Sports. I've had several different programs get some equipment granted through them. It's a pretty easy application process, and then you basically get access to a catalog of gear. And they do, they're really big on their footwear, which I think is awesome, because not a lot of equipment organizations, we certainly don't, grant out for footwear, but they also do all kinds of different sporting equipment. They cover a variety of sports. So that's one that you might not have heard of. I would highly recommend checking them out. Virtual fun runs. Oh my gosh. If you have, I don't know what kind of fundraisers everybody does out there, but I feel like this is the latest and the greatest. If you have any runners in your family, they probably have already done a couple of these, but I found a really great blog entry, which is referenced here, on how to host a virtual 5K. And it's worth taking a look at. It's not a lot of bandwidth, and it can be pretty fruitful. The Pura Vida bracelets, that's also, it's kind of an interesting one. They're kind of it's a family in the East, but they'll go all over, and they have a lacrosse connection, so they're really good to lacrosse organizations. And then Bill Belichick Foundation grant. I don't know that everybody's aware, but Bill Belichick is a huge lacrosse supporter. He has been for quite a while, and I have a team. It was a boys' high school team up here in Central Washington that has a really go-getter kind of team mom, and she applied for one of their foundation grants, and they got it. They got $25,000 to seed this team and buy all of these boys' equipment, and they got goals. They got a whole bunch of stuff. And so I say that because, you know, I mean, this was a team that was out in the middle of nowhere, Washington, and they got picked up. So, you know, grants like that, you might think, Bill Belichick, what the heck? I think things like this are always worth looking at and always worth applying for. I don't know what their application process is like, but I was very impressed with how they treated this you know, one team, and what they were able to get from that. So what the heck? It's on the fave list. So I do recommend that, you know, you really look at that one pager, and, you know, don't discount anything. I mean, a lot of these things are really easy to do. Again, like setting up an Amazon Smile account, or you know, a lot of corporations and retailers have grants. Dick's Sporting Goods, that's on the one pager. They've been doing community-oriented sports equipment grants for a number of years. So take a gander at that. Always worth looking at, because you know what? It's just like with the lottery. If you don't play, you can't win. And if you don't apply for some of this stuff, you know, it's not going to happen. So there you go. And oh, thank you, Richard Yee. Grant applications are closed for, oh, okay. Well, there you go, for 2020. Something to look at for the next year. But I definitely wanted to put that on your, I was looking in the chat, Richard Yee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Richard. I did not see that on their website, but anywho, so they're open for 2021. Well, Lori, I'm not sure when they closed for 2020, but I know that foundation will be around for a while, so I would definitely keep it in your notes for next year. So there you go. Okay, and I think so there's my contact information. Again, if you did apply for a grant in this last cycle, I'll be reaching out to you to have a quick conversation. And but you know, you're in great hands. I know it's hard times out there for some of us these years, but I think NCGLA's you know, offering a pretty wide range of things, and between the NorCal, you know, equipment in stock, which is just amazing that the chapter does that, and your gem of a foundation here, you guys have a lot of resources, so take advantage of them. It's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Any questions? All right, so if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll post this recording on our YouTube channel, and I will send the one pager from Lynn out to everyone. I also want to say that during our new club leader training the other day, we had some experienced club leaders share some, you know, really great tips on fundraising. You know, Matt from Rockland shared some great ideas, as well as Jim Kircher and Kathy Reed. So we will have both videos up for you to check out. And with that, I will close the meeting for you guys.
Hey, Laura, will those videos be
sure.
Available before the delegates meeting on Saturday or after the delegates meeting?
I will send this to Dan tomorrow, so he probably will have it up probably tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Derek, this is Chris. Dan and
Hey,
I are working on getting that up.
all right. Yeah, because unfortunately I wasn't able to make that other meeting. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to. But I'd like to take a look
Yeah.
at it.
It's a large file and we're having to play with the codecs a bit, but we'll get it up.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
There's a question in the chat about what time is the meeting Saturday. The delegates meeting starts at 8:30. I would say if you're interested in programs or just the intricacies of 2021 and how we're going to plan that season, to be on there between 9 and noon. That's where the bulk of the particulars will be discussed. And it's completely fine if you have multiple people from your club. If someone wants to do the morning, someone wants to do the afternoon, people do that all the time.
What time will voting be happening, you think?
They have it scheduled for between 11 and 1. Just depends on how much commentary the clubs have. The delegates, that is. All right, guys, have a good evening. And if you need anything, please reach out to one of us. We're here to help you with this.